Right. Well, my understanding is that we do have the Minister back on the line with us. This is the Minister of Social Development, Lindiwe Zulu. Minister, thank you very much for joining us. It has been a battle to get you, but thank you very much for making yourself available on what must be an extremely busy day. I just want to speak to you, first of all, about the alcohol restrictions. Do you welcome the fact that no alcohol will be sold over the next 21 days as a really good thing for controlling domestic violence, gender-based violence and transport accidents?
Yes, we very much welcome the decisions that have been made, and I hope that law enforcement will be able to enforce it. From a social development point of view, we appreciate and understand exactly what happens when people have got too much alcohol and then they go home. But of course, some have been allowed, some have been stocking, so that's another story. Those that have stocked, they have it at home, they'll be drinking. They have too much time in their hands at home, and some will get irritated and tempers will rise and all that. As the President has called for a national day of prayer for us, we have to join the President this evening. I think that people should also be praying for the ordinary men and women and children and those that always end up finding themselves in a violent environment. Our systems are going to be in place. Our services are still on, but of course it's going to be a bit of a challenge for people to find themselves being able to access our services, being able to access police stations and so forth. But our social services will still continue to work, because the fact that we are on a lockdown and the fact that we have coronavirus being our focus, we must not lose sight of the violence against women and children. This is a South African scourge, and this is something that we have to continue fighting, irrespective of what we are going through right now.
What, Minister, can a woman do if during the lockdown she's being physically abused, her and her children, by her partner? What can she do? How does she get out?
Firstly, we are calling upon the communities around them, because communities in many instances know that something like that is going on next door, or something like that is going on the street, and sometimes they just say it's none of their business and they go about doing their own business. We are appealing firstly to communities, to society, to say, help us here. When you hear something, when you see something, there is a GBV command center which will be 24/7, and the number is 0800 428 428. That is the number that has to be called. But also we've got other numbers which are related to SASSA, and I know that these are SASSA numbers, are SASSA issues, but people do need to be able to use some of these call centers and speak out about this. Most bank one is 0800 535455, but most of all, we are calling on our social, we are calling on our NGOs, all the organizations that continue to do the work on the ground. We are happy that they're continuing to do the work. We are happy that they are calling us and saying to us, we must be able to assist them, because when they go out, they must be stopped, they might be dead. They are calling on us to say, give us an assistance so that they can easily access visiting homes.
Absolutely. So that GBV command centre number, I just want to make sure I've got it correct, 0800 428 428?
Yes, that's the number,
Fantastic.
0800 428 428.
Right, that's really important. We're going to make sure we keep that on our screens, Minister. Let's talk about the homeless. Last night we heard about a plan here in Johannesburg to use some of the school hostels. How exactly is that going to work? Will the homeless just simply be pulled in, rounded up and said, sorry, you're going to have to stay at a hostel, and will they be fed and cared for completely while they're there?
Firstly, people who are homeless are also South Africans. They are also human beings, and therefore this is the time for us to show our compassion. This is the time for us to pay attention to them. Many of them didn't call it upon themselves to be out on the streets. So we are talking to all the provinces, the MECs, and in particular in the areas where we know the numbers of homelessness is high. That is in Johannesburg, and that is in the Western Cape, in Cape Town in particular, in Bloemfontein. we called upon the MECs for social development to work with other departments such as public works, work with the department, the police, work with everybody to assist them. We need to give them dignity when all is said and done. And in this point in time, they are also susceptible to catching the virus if we are not able to take care of them. And my view has always been that we need to strengthen our local structures to be able to respond, because I'm in Pretoria, I'm in Johannesburg, I can make the call, I can talk to you right now, but the people who have to really step up and ensure that our systems are working are our provincial structures as well as our local structures. But also, unfortunately for us, we have organizations, and I wish to thank them. We've got many organizations that have stepped up and said to us, what is it that we can do, Minister, in terms of supply of food, supply of the basic necessities, including the sanitizers and all that. I do wish to take this moment to thank them and say the President has called upon us as South Africans to step up and assist each other. Here's another issue that I think is very important. There is a disaster and a crisis in our hands, but I think this is the time for us to look into our systems for the future. Today is coronavirus. Tomorrow it might be something else. There's a need for us to sustain the work that we are doing now. And so when I talk about the homeless, it's about what are we going to do to sustain what we are doing to remove and reduce the number of people on the street for the future, not only for today, but for the future.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. That's Lindiwe Zulu, Minister for Social Development. Some very important issues being clarified there for us as we go into lockdown.
Right. Still to come in the next hour, Sally, is the Consumer Goods Council's Patricia Pillay. She will speak to us about the impact of panic buying on the supply chain. And just very quickly before we link to that short breather, Sally, the other number, very, very important, that the Minister has given us is that of the social grants, people who receive social grants. If they want clarity, that number, let me just repeat it to you. It's 0800 535 455. 0800 535 455. We'll
Very
see
important
you in a bit.
numbers.